Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm going to be doing the spring reading tag. This was created by Amy Jane Smith, whose channel and video I will link in the description box below. Obviously, I was not tagged to do this video by anybody specifically, however, several of the people that I am subscribed to have recently done this tag and it looks interesting, so here I am. Now, there are 8 questions to this tag and frankly the questions are very self-explanatory and indeed explain the whole purpose of the tag. So without further delay, I'll get straight on to the first question. So question 1 is, what books are you most excited to get to over the next few months? Now I find this question a bit odd because frankly any book that I pick up to read, I'm excited to read it because frankly if I wasn't, well, I would leave it on my shelf or I wouldn't buy it in the first place or get it from the library. But obviously that's not the point of this question, of course. So, if I had to push it, I would probably say the Vorkosigan Saga by Lois McMaster Bujold. I'm reading these on my Kindle, so I have no fancy books to show you. I've read 6 of them so far, and it is a 16 book series currently, so I've got 10 to go. At the rate I'm reading them, however, it will not take me long to read them at all, because I'm reading them 3 or 4 per month at the moment. And that keeps accelerating, so probably 2 months I expect and I'll have finished the whole series. Question 2 is, what book makes you think of spring for whatever reason? Now I think this question is a very hard question and in some ways it's nearly impossible to answer because I don't think of any book as being seasonal. I don't read my books based on the time of year, whether it's Christmas, spring, summer or autumn. It doesn't matter to me. However, if I had to really push it, I would have to say that spring equals new life and new growth. That equals hope. And if I'm going by hope, then I have to say that is probably Arthur C. Clarke and something along the lines of Rendezvous with Rama. This is just an example. Arthur C. Clarke wrote many books over the years. I've only read a fairly small number of them at this point, and all the ones I've read so far have been fantastic and I've really liked them. Basically, he writes books where the central idea and the central basis for the plot is not conflict, it's exploration and curiosity and trying to understand more about our universe rather than people getting aggressive and murdering each other and some sort of revenge plot or something, which frankly I can get a bit tired when a large portion of books do it. Arthur C. Clarke doesn't do that. He's a different kind of writing and I greatly appreciate it. Question 3 is, the days are getting longer. What is the longest book you've ever read? And you might be able to tell this if you're particularly familiar with my shelf because it's actually normally right there, the book in question is. And that is Judas Unchained by Peter F. Hamilton. This is 1,235 pages. It's very thick, very heavy and frankly I have read it and indeed I greatly enjoyed it. However, it took me years to actually get around to reading it due to the sheer size of the thing and its weight. This is not an easy book to sit down and read, and you certainly can't carry it with you and read it anywhere. So it's one of those slightly awkward books where you know you're going to like it but you just can't get around to reading it for whatever reason. Question 4 is, what books would you recommend to brighten someone's day? Now I'm not going to recommend a particular book, however the author I'm going to recommend is probably going to be an obvious one to some people, and that would be Terry Pratchett. Yes, you know, the author that I've waved books around many times over the last 3 years. Terry Pratchett wrote the Discworld novels as well as many other books, and frankly I love the Discworld novels, as you know, and Terry Pratchett in general. He's a very influential author for me and many other people. His books always make me smile. I mean, basically the whole time I read any Terry Pratchett book, I'm smiling. Another good author though for this to make you smile and laugh and cry because of it is Tom Sharpe. Last year I read many Tom Sharpe books, actually most of his books in fact, and he does black satire. Whilst it may not be the most sort of obvious book for sort of a pick-me-up, it does work because the books are quite violent and quite dark in places, but because of how well written they are, you can't help but laugh. At least I couldn't, and I haven't laughed like that for a book in years. Actually, the last book that made me love that heavily was Ted Patch himself. You know, two extremely good authors. Question 5 is, spring brings new life. Think up a book that doesn't exist yet, but you wish it did. This actually proved quite difficult until I suddenly realised about series. So the book I'm going to choose is the final 3 Expanse books. The Expanse, which starts with Leviathan Wakes, is currently numbering 6 at the moment. The 7th will be released at the end of this year, 2017. And then I believe the idea is there was meant to be 9 of them in total, and each of them was going to be released each year. Obviously, I would like it if I had all 3 of these books available tomorrow. Preferably, I wish I had them in my hand right now instead of this one. But, you know, so yeah, definitely Expanse, because they're just great science fiction space operas, frankly. Question 6 is, spring is also a time for growth. How has your reading changed over the years? And frankly, this is very simple, beyond belief. I started off reading when I was young, reading only fantasy, and indeed, for many years, as far as I was concerned, the only author that existed was Ted Patchett and the Discworld. I literally read no other author for like the first 4 years of my reading life, other than Ted Patchett and Discworld. Literally, I kept rereading them over and over again, and eventually, I actually discovered that other authors actually existed, other than Ted Patchett, and I'm not exaggerating here, I was actually almost surprised by the fact there was other authors other than him. And I was quite glad that I discovered other authors, because I've discovered some pretty amazing books and ideas, and this has greatly enhanced my viewpoint of the world and made me more accepting of things. And the amount of genres I now read is quite high. I mean, obviously, yes, everybody thinks of me as a science fiction guy with a large amount of fantasy as well, but I do read most other genres though, just in smaller amounts, but I still do. Question 7 is, we're a couple of months into the new year. How is your reading going? Well, for the previous 3 months, I've read 18 books in each of the 3 months, so going by that basis, pretty well. However, I would like to do much, much better than this, because since I started BookTube, most people, I've noticed when they're commenting on the BookTube effect they've had, say that they've started to read more often and faster, and therefore read more books per month. Actually, with me, it greatly slowed me down, because of course I had to read books in a different way, and I'm having to actually think about them more carefully, and indeed obviously write things down and prepare for videos. So this has massively reduced the amount I read per month, and I am now starting to get to a point where I'm almost recovered, a large portion of the way back to my old reading speed, but I would still like to read more. I mean, I'm still reading high quality, I just would like to read more books per month. You know, give it a year and I'll probably be doing even longer monthly wrap-ups than I do now, because the amount I can read per month at my old speed, yeah, that would be scary, frankly. And finally, the last question, question 8 is, are there any plans you are looking forward to over the next few months? And I assume this question is referring to books. And indeed that's what I'm going to answer it as. And overall, really the only plan I have is that in maybe June, I would like to make a trip down to London again to buy some books, and indeed meet up with a few people again, like I did in March, which I really, really enjoyed. Obviously, I'm going to start having to plan this probably within weeks, because obviously the earlier you plan these things and obviously buy train tickets and things, the cheaper things are. So I have to start thinking about this extremely soon, within weeks realistically. So I'll let you know how that goes. It should be really fun, and I should hopefully get some interesting books as well. And with that said, that is it for this video. All the things I mentioned in the video I will link in the description box below, as well as all my social media links as always. And with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you another time. Bye for now.